All right, let's talk about the $2 trillion we're wasting in taxpayer money. I don't think the powers that be love Lomi because we're taking money out of their pockets and we're letting people choose where to put it. I think we're going to run into all kinds of pushback. We're going to piss off everybody in the waste management industry.
You've got these landfills that are just, money to be made, right?
That's right. That's right.
The entire waste management industry has been set up the same way for a long time. Taxpayers give money to the cities. The city then turns around and hands that over to some kind of waste management company. It's a good system for them. It's not a good system for the individual. It's such a good business, there's no incentive for change. The biggest innovation in waste management seems to be dig a bigger hole and here's a different color box. That's it. And yet we keep shoveling cash at them.
My name's Maureen Gold. I live in Mission Viejo, California. Now I've been on the West Coast for more than half of my life, so almost a California native now. This year, California introduced Bill 1383, and that was a food recycling program. And that's when they gave every household the little bucket. You're supposed to put all of your food waste in that, and then you just dump it into your green bin, and it goes out when you take your bins out.
Even if LA County took all of the food waste, composted it, and then used all the compost, like the output of that process, in all public parks and all public spaces, they would still only be using like 10% of the output. The cities themselves can't find uses for it, but people can. So I think California, while they're leading, I think they're ignoring the most important part, which is the individual. Like, that's my issue with governments trying to solve this, is like, the only three things in our lives that don't get cheaper, housing, education, and healthcare, are the three most regulated industries by government. This is who we're trusting to solve the world's waste problem, is the institution that makes the three most important things in our lives increasingly more costly? Nope, not for me.
Just brainstorming around what can we do, we came up with the idea of reducing waste through food waste and also bioplastics through an electric composter, Lomi. I want Lomi to be a device that can actually inspire people to be more sustainable, and I think the ability of Lomi to impact every human being while they're sitting in their home is what drives me a lot.
We wanted to create something that was really attractive and that you could feel proud to have on your countertop. So we explored a lot of different design directions, different looks and shape language, color palettes, and I think we landed on something that is really beautiful and can fit in lots of different kitchens and is instantly recognizable as Lomi.
It looks like a pretty simple machine, but it's not as simple. It's much more complicated when you have millions of microbes inside that Lomi bucket that you're unable to see, that you have to control in order for them to do their job, which is break down the food waste and create something that is really meaningful to this planet.
So Lomi just takes in all your food, and then what comes out is actually highly valuable. You can sprinkle it on your lawn, feed it to your gardens. Like, it's soil food. This is what the world needs. We need soil food.
When we don't practice regenerative agriculture, a lot of the organic matter and other important things to create healthy soil, it gets stripped from the land. As soon as we started stripping everything out of the soil and sending it to landfill or taking it off the land, that depletes the soil of essential organic matter. There's only so much land that we can actually grow crops on. Some studies have shown that we maybe only have 50 harvests left. What's really exciting about Lomi is we're using a technology, so it's a smart waste appliance, to make it easier for you to keep your food waste out of the landfill and get it back into the soil as nature intended it. One of the things we're really excited about with Lomi is the possibility of, what if these Lomi type devices were ubiquitous? What if everyone had a Lomi? What would that look like? Instead of sending your organics to a compost facility and then sending it to a farm, what if your organics could go directly from your house to a farm. So we've set up testing right now with a local nonprofit here in Kelowna, British Columbia called Helen's Acres. So they're a community farm. One of the things we're doing is we've set up plots out there, or test plots, to grow different types of horticultural crops. And just to compare, how does loamy end product, when we apply it to the soil and grow, cabbage and lettuce in these areas, how does it compare to organic fertilizer, and how does it compare to having no fertilizer? And it's really neat. We're seeing some really interesting results. Today we're just getting a visual look to see what the crops look like and what the plants look like, but we're also harvesting all the crops, and we're taking different measurements to weigh, just to compare how much plant growth there is. And we've also taken soil samples to measure the quality of the soil, the nutrients of the soil, just to see how they compare to each other in real field conditions.
There's a cool new solution that may be just the next must-have household item
to help the environment, prevent waste management, and be more sustainable.
CEO and co-founder of Pila.
But explain this new product you have, because it's kind of a game changer.
A game changer? My scammer sense just went off the scale.
It does feel bad when you see people casting stones, especially when you're doing something meaningful for the environment. But as a lead engineer, I do believe in meaningful critique. There have been videos, YouTube videos, blogs written that say it's a blender or it's a bread maker. It's not.
So this happens with every major innovative product. At first, it's ridiculed. Even though the evidence is stacking up overwhelmingly in one direction, a lot of people look at Loamy through this lens of, it plugs in, must be bad. Instead of through the lens of, it plugs in, it makes doing something that is otherwise not being done in most homes very convenient. Most people don't have chickens. Most people do not have backyard compost. Even if they have the space, they still don't do it. I think there's a very narrow set of circumstances that people like to criticize Loamy on that make no sense when you're looking at the size and scope of the problem. I think the proof is in the product. Beyond that, forget the product itself, forget the machine. The proof is in what comes out of it. It's not just our own testing now. We're partnering up with farmers and universities to show the efficacy of the output of Loamy. What's coming out of Loamy? Is it actually as healthy as we say it is? And the answer is yes.
It's amazing what that little body can do.
It is super cool. It's the Loamy home composter, and you can put any food waste into it.
It's working.
Loamy took all of that food trash and made it into nutrient-enriched soil.
I am genuinely in shock of what this turned my food scraps into.
Look at that.
This looks like cake. What?
No, it just takes your stuff and breaks it down, and you come down in the morning and you've got dirt. That's pretty incredible. It's just made things very easy. And when things are easy, people will do them. So Loamy made it easy.